should start making another file with little outtakes in it. You have to do it. Just in that is the future archive. Just do a whole show of outtakes.
We would probably be the only ones laughing. Okay, here we go. Good evening. Welcome to Heart Talks. This is the Sheena and Sheila show, where we talk about angels and dimensions and energy and whatever else we're guided to talk about. And we are so grateful that you join us and you inspire us to keep making more shows. So thank you and welcome. And welcome
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much. I just want to say I'm just eternally grateful to the beautiful work that you do in giving us a platform to get and share our knowledge and our journey with everyone. And I really, really heartfelt and always appreciate it. And for those who don't know and have never watched any of our shows before, if this is your first time, welcome. And I work with what we call the angels, but for me, that word angels means messengers. It's not religious, although the angels are mentioned throughout mankind's religions. So for me, they're the messengers. And Sheila and I have had so much fun in sharing some of the stories with you all. Please only take into your heart what feels right for you. As I said, this is just a sharing. And so Sheila is wonderful. When she facilitates this for me, I've had some friends mention to me that I seem to, apparently they said, Sheena, you do a lot of talking. And I said, that's why Sheila actually has this beautiful girlfriend joke with me, and she calls it the Sheena and Sheila show instead of the Sheila and whoever the guest is show. But what Sheila does for me when I go into channel is she holds a space for me so I can channel not only the words, but I channel the energy for you to all receive the energy through the internet. And she knows when I'm channeling and when I'm even not here. So she doesn't interrupt, which she's such a most beautiful, gracious host, because she knows once she interrupts me, I lose the channel and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. So even though, because I'm a non-trance medium, I'm not a medium as a traditional medium, and it's my spirit speaking, but she's a pretty big spirit, and it's quite funny because you get the brain freeze. If I stop channeling, I'll sit there with the blankest expression on my face. And Sheila will know that I'm not really here. So I am in deep gratitude to my soul sister that always does this for me. So for those of you who think I talk a lot, yeah, I do.
That makes my job easy.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Well, it is such a miracle that that we met and that we can have these shows from Australia and from Washington, USA. I mean, we are, and just here the other day, I put all of our shows on my website, and it was so amazing to see all the shows that we've done and all the subjects that we've hit. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud of our shows.
Oh, I am too, because we don't realize how many we've made. To me, it's just a treat and a joy every week to get together and speak with my girlfriend, my soul sister, my soul kin. And we get the opportunity to talk off show. So we get the opportunity to have a connection like that. But I was amazed as well. I thought, oh my goodness, look at all the shows we've put together. Yeah. And I thank everybody for your love and your support out there. And our earnest wish, because Sheila and I are both in the same on the same page, so to speak, we just want to share and make this a beautiful forum and a beautiful platform for everybody. Absolutely. And we just hope that it helps people in some way. And we always get the giggles. We can't help ourselves. We were just saying earlier, I'm encouraging Sheila to take some excerpts from our shows call them the outtakes and make a whole nother show about outtakes, because you don't get to see our outtakes, but they're very funny.
Yes, thank God for editing. Oh. Well, today we're going to share another lovely prayer. I hope you've seen some of our other shows where Sheena has been sharing the prayers, and they are so beautiful. And not only are the words beautiful, but the energy that's in them and how they were created is also very interesting. And today we're going to share the prayer for the Buddha of compassion. I think that's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And Sheila's been so gorgeous in placing some of my artwork with each of the prayers. And the artwork is actually the artwork that I use for these prayers. And I love sharing the story of them. Many people use the prayers, but they don't know the full story of how it came about. The prayer for compassion was something so different. And how this one evolved, what I'll do is I'll read the prayer first and I'll tell you the story, and then we can finish with a prayer as well. But it's dedicated to the goddess energy, the feminine goddess energy. But there's a gorgeous, gorgeous story that goes with it, of course. But this is the prayer for compassion. And when you're doing a prayer, when I create a prayer, it's an event. So just sit comfortably however you like and bring yourself into the center of your chest, which is your heart chakra. And through your heart mind, we call it the heart mind, it's that beautiful still place. I always encourage people, and Sheila and I do the same thing, I encourage people to evoke a beautiful emotion, an emotion of joy and love. And I call it the puppy love, or the holding a baby chicken or a baby duck, you know, that, or a baby kitten, or your own baby or a grandbaby, that gorgeous innocent love. So if you can create that in the center of your heart chakra, your spiritual heart is in the center of your chest, for those that don't know, and just go into that beautiful still place and close your eyes and connect to God, or whatever you conceive God to be. For this one, I say God, Goddess, which means both the masculine and the feminine aspects of God, but it's your concept of the divine. So you do that. So the prayer for compassion is, may God and the Goddess and the angels hold all of mankind in a heavenly embrace. May the Buddha of compassion please hold us all with the remembrance of how to use the gift of free will that was granted to us, so that we may grow and evolve. Please help us and bless us all, so that we may stand and act together in a loving, compassionate unity towards all of our brothers and sisters. May you set paths of peace for us to walk upon, with our hearts lovingly open. May we all help to heal the hearts of others, and may the cries of the world turn to tears of joy as you bless every as you bless every sacred step that we take on this journey of life. In the Goddess's holy name, Amen. So there's a beautiful story about what this means and how it was created. And thank you for having the patience with me. It's early morning here in Australia. I'm up on the ridge of the Great Dividing Range, and I need a big cup of tea. And I've gotten out of bed early for Sheila because the internet is so bad. So this is a rare sight for people to see me this early in the morning. So there's no brain here yet. I'm usually a space cadet anyway. But anyway, so there's a no-brainer here. Okay. So I met the most beautiful soul. Her name is Cate Kodo Juno. And Cate lives in Western Australia, and she has a beautiful Buddhist sanctuary and temple in Wombeyon in Western Australia. she was one of the first female Buddhist monks to be ordained. And she has a remarkable story in her own right. And I won't tell you about that because those of you who might be interested in it can Google her. So, but we met, and I had the joy of visiting her temple and sitting with her, and she introduced me to the Buddha of compassion, which is one of the feminine aspects of God. The goddess energy holds beautiful beings like our Mother Mary, Our Lady of the Light, Kuan Yin. Now, the Buddha of compassion in Japanese is called the Kannon Buddha. And it's the feminine aspect of a Buddha. She's a female Buddha in her own right. And her name means she who hears the cries of the world. So she's the Buddha of compassion. And Cate works with this beautiful divine being. So we were sitting in her temple, and she did the most beautiful blessing for me. Many years later, I also became the recipient of an extraordinary gift from Cate. She has ancient silk scrolls that were painted by the monks, and they were released to the public, only a few of them. And I am the recipient of a couple of them, but also Cate allowed me to be the recipient of her silk scroll of the Buddha of Compassion that was hanging in her own temple. And I always hold it in my temple as well. So one of the things that happens when a monk is ordained, and they finally leave the monastery, one of their first tasks is at their own expense, they need to paint the Kannon Buddha. So some of these silk scrolls are a couple of thousand years old, and they're held in trust and protected. And very rarely do they go out to the public, but they go to healers because there's an energy that's held within them for all of mankind. And Cate, of course, knows the planetary work that I do. So the Buddha compassion radiates that gorgeous loving energy out to everybody. And I always have one hanging in my healing room and in my shop. And so everybody that would come in would benefit from the gorgeous, gorgeous vibration that comes through that portal or that energy. So on the 20th of January in 2009 was when I was just deeply inspired to compose this prayer, because Cate Kodo Juno sent me an email telling me of the prayer work that she does, and I was deeply moved by this. So Cate carried my prayer along with hundreds of others to offer at the ancient. Now you have to forgive me because my Japanese is not 100%, but it's spelled Saigoku Saigoku Kannon Temples in Japan. And I always felt deeply, deeply blessed that Cate would be the first person to read my prayer in March 2009. It was a most rare spiritual event. And it was the first time in the 1,400-year history of all the 33 temples in Japan that she visits on her pilgrimages, that they decided in 2009 that they would open up all their secret images of the Kannon Buddha, which would release divine transformational energy and blessings into the whole world. And I always thank Cate so dearly and deeply for the work that she does. So how it came about, I felt deeply moved to ask for a prayer that would remind us that we are all brothers and sisters. And we not only have free will, but we have divine will. And how to bring that in and how to open the heart and share the heart energy with all. So what Cate does is she will go and she takes everybody's prayers, regardless of what they are, and she walks with her backpack and all the prayers on her back to each temple. Wow. And she sits and she reads every prayer and offers them up to the Kannon Buddha. Wow. In every temple, 33 of them in Japan, she walks them, and this is some of her prayer work that she does. And then when she comes home to Western Australia, to Wombeyan, she then offers them all up in a fire ceremony. Oh. And sends sends them to the universe after they've been read in the 33 temples to the Kannon Buddha. And so this is how she does her amazing work, as well as other amazing work. She doesn't just do the prayer work. So there's so many amazing brothers and sisters out there that work on everybody's behalf that people are completely unaware of.
Yes.
But never doubt the power of prayer, because you're asking the divine for assistance. So I wish to create a prayer that would ask the divine to hold us all in this heavenly embrace while we were opening our hearts and sending love and light to all of our brothers and sisters. Now, compassion means, a lot of people perhaps don't understand the full meaning of compassion, and it depends on your language and your concepts. But compassion is, I see you, brother, I see you, sister. Thank you for sharing your journey with me. But this is your journey. I offer you love and light, but I'm not going to take on board your negative empathy.
Right.
I send you love. I recognize you. I see you. So compassion is to stand with unconditional love. Unconditional love means love without a condition. So you sit in that beautiful feminine heart chakra, which is unconditional love. And so I love you, I see you, I understand your journey, and I send you love and light on your journey, and I wish you well. And I support, all the love and light that all the other brothers and sisters are sending out. So when you do it in a group, when you do it, it amplifies it beyond imagining. So the first words, may God or the goddess, that's connecting to the God force or the divine. And we bring in the goddess, meaning the feminine aspect of God. The masculine aspect is there in support, so it's in pure balance. And the angels hold all of mankind. So you're asking them to come in and hold the whole world. It's not like, it can be held as an individual prayer, but this is usually a group prayer done by the sisterhood. Men, of course, can please share and do this prayer. But it's a prayer, when you do it as a group, it just magnifies and amplifies, and you're sitting in your heart. So we're asking the God or the divine and the goddess and the angels to hold all of mankind in their heavenly embrace. And then we're inviting the Buddha of compassion. Now, in many countries, the Buddha of Compassion is also known as Our Lady of the Light. The Kannon Buddha in Japan, Kuan Yin in China, Chenrezig in Tibet, and it means the one who hears the cries of the world. So this is the representation of this goddess energy. And so then we go into it and we say, may the Buddha of compassion please hold us all with the remembrance of how to use the gift of free will that was granted to us. And that was one of the greatest gifts that mankind has. They have free will. So there's two plans on this planet. A lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, why is the divine, or why is God letting this happen to us? They don't realize that there's God's plan or the goddess's plan for the greater good for humanity. But because we were all given the gift of free will, there's mankind's plan. There's two plans. Mankind can pick the extreme journey on boot camp Earth. They can do the most horrendous things to each other to want to have an experience and learn something about their divinity. The main thing is you have free will. You can step into the higher dimensions and higher vibrations and make a choice to step into that. You have free will. So may the Buddha of compassion please hold us all with the remembrance of how to use the gift of free will. So it's reminding us to come back into our divine heart space. That was granted to us so that we may grow and evolve. And that's what evolution is about. Every soul has a divine right to exist, and every divine right to exist. With that divine right to exist, you are on an eternal evolution. You have the right to evolve, and that evolution takes you higher and higher. And a lot of people call that their ascension work. So please help us and bless us all so that we may stand and act together in a loving, compassionate unity. So that means when all the hearts light up, oh my goodness, you rock and roll. You bring that energy in. And I know all the beautiful beings that do the planetary work, the prayer work, and their sister work, and they hold their ceremonies. We feel it. Never doubt what you're doing. Never doubt that it doesn't have good intention. Anything with good intention, of course, the energy, the angels and the beautiful higher masters, they carry that energy for you and they amplify it. You all work together, not only in physical, but in spiritual. You all stand together. And especially when you invoke them and invite them with that pure good intention. It magnifies, it just resonates out beyond this planet, even into the solar system and into the cosmos. Other beings feel it. Right. It doesn't just happen where you think it does. It's like the pebble in the pond. Existentialism. That pebble goes in the pond, which is you and your heart, and have no doubt how far it can reach. It's limitless. You are limitless. Yeah. So we may stand and act together in a loving, compassionate unity towards all of our brothers and sisters. And may you set paths of peace for us to walk upon. I'm going to say that again because I always mix that one up. May you set paths of peace for us to walk upon. With our hearts lovingly open, may we all help to heal the hearts of others. And may the cries of the world turn to tears of joy as you bless every sacred step that we take on this journey of life. So the prayer is to ask you to remember your own divinity and to go into your own sacred heart. And remember that your heart, nothing can put that flame out. It always reminds me, whenever I read this, I always feel like I'm standing on the bow of the Titanic. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody's seen that movie. And Kate's got her arms spread out and she's sailing along. And it's that song that says the heart will go on. Yeah. I'm kidding to you. I'm sorry. That's what this prayer always does this to me. I know. That's why I left this one to last. Or one of the ones. It does evoke those tears in me because I do hear the cries of the world. Yes. So I'll probably keep crying for the rest of the show now. But the tears of joy to remind you that you are an eternal, divine, spiritual being. And you granted this gift of incarnation so that you can grow and evolve as a spiritual being. You are so powerful. You have more power, love and light than you can possibly imagine. And when you step aside from that free will and step into your divine will and just remember that, oh my goodness, that is just so powerful. And thank you all for your love and light. And I hope you will enjoy this prayer. So this is a prayer for what we call group work and planetary work. And if you are somebody who works in solitude, thank you. You can send this out. So a lot of people usually have a deep heartfelt experience when they do this one. So prepare yourself for that. But when the Kannon Buddha steps in, it's like the Divine Mother. And she will hold you in that embrace and give you comfort and solace. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to that. And I do hope you're going to enjoy that. All my prayers are free, of course. Please download them. Please copy them. The only thing that I ever ask is if you're going to share the prayer with someone, could you please share the story that goes with it, acknowledging those that helped inspire me to create it. That's all I ask. But enjoy every moment of that. And yeah, have your tissue box ready because sometimes many people burst into tears. But thank you everyone for your service work. So I'm just going to come back. I need a drink of water, Sheila. It's okay.
You know, some people, I know some days you kind of lose what your purpose is, what you're doing here, you know. And I'm going to say that to just stop for a moment and say this prayer for all of us, that is that's serving a pretty good purpose right there. It's it will give you purpose just by opening yourself up and sending out that compassion to all. And for empaths who can feel everything that's going on right now,
Yeah,
it is a good time for compassion.
it is. Compassion, when you can recognize your brother and sister's journey and empower them by not taking on their pain. It, of course, is much easier said than done as an empathic being and as a sensitive. A true empath finds it incredibly hard to incarnate. Most people are what we call sensitive or clairsentient. We have empathy, of course, but if you can practice the art of sitting in the stillness of your heart and sending an offering of course love and light without taking on what it is I quite often teach a lot of my students because they don't understand what they're feeling and they feel everything and everyone. And I said, darling, it's like getting an email. I said, you'll feel their pain, but answer the email and just go straight to the divine or the guardians or the masters, whoever you're working with, and say, someone is feeling deep sorrow. Please send someone to them to comfort them. And the other thing that I quite often get people to do is when you're feeling something and you don't know what it is, go straight to the source, go straight to the divine and say, if this is not mine, please separate me from it so I can diagnose it. Quite often it'll go away and it won't come back because your angel will wrap their energy around you to create this beautiful buffer zone filled with just pure love and light, because you've overheard someone's energy or it's passed through you and you've read it. It's like when you're on the internet and all this information's flying past you and you've seen it, but you don't have to hold on to it. It may not be yours to experience, but you've certainly picked up their email. So there's a couple of things you can do. So you can say, if this is not mine, please separate me from it. Now, if it goes away and it does not come back, then it wasn't yours. You just heard the conversation in passing. Now, if it fades in and fades out and then fades back out and fades back in, that means that someone close to you or someone has said a prayer, someone needs help. So you answer that email and you say, someone is feeling fear, someone is feeling sadness. You ask, just can the divine go and help that being? As a healer, I feel all my students and all my clients. So I get the emails all the time. So I'll feel them and I'll go, okay, Johnny's back is hurting. Okay, guys, team, Johnny's in pain. Go straight to him now. Attend to his back. Just lift the pain off him until I can get to his session. Or I'll feel somebody's very sad and I'll go, oh, okay, Joy's feeling very sad. Can the sisters of the Emerald Fire go and support her and just help her bring her joy back? You know, you answer the email. Then if you've asked that question, if this is not mine, please separate me from it. Once you've answered the email, that should then dissipate. You'll know that they're out of pain or that they're out of sadness. Sometimes they can't lift their sadness because they need counselling and help, but you can absolutely send the divine to help them, the masters. They all are just waiting for you to ask, because you have free will. They can't interfere unless you ask, or they won't intervene. But if the pain or if the emotion stays with you and doesn't move at all, then it's yours to look at and deal with. And so I always say to my students, this is a fantastic thing when you get the email and you feeling it and you know, okay, this is mine. This is what I'm working on now. Okay, what am I working on? What am I looking at? Where's this coming from? What do I have to transform? Or who do I have to forgive? Is it myself? Usually it's yourself. You usually have to forgive yourself because you're usually too harsh on them, on yourself and the other person. So you can then process and transform this energy experience. And the minute that you start changing your point of view about the experience, and instead of doing the half, glass empty, think of it as half full and look at it as a positive, because you've been given the experience, because you're ready for it and you can handle it and work on it. And if it keeps coming back, then I've got to work on this. There's something I'm missing. Show me, give me a message, tell me what it is. Like, work on it, and you will. It's like you've sent a new assignment. You've got a new exam to do, and you've been practicing it. And the funny thing is, many of the light workers think that they've worked on something, and it comes back around again, and they go, I worked on this. What's it doing back here? It's because you've got to work it through your spiritual body, your emotional body, your mental body, and then the last bastion is the physical body. And so as an empath, it's pretty full on for you all, and I love you all, but don't give up hope. There's a process. You can actually do this. And of course, you can always call another brother and sister to help you if you can't figure it out. We're all here as a network. Yeah. And the minute you ask for help, the minute you ask your guardian angels or your guides to assist you, they will bring you the answer in some shape or form. I always ask them to give it to me 3 times, very, very clearly, and make sure that I get it. And so they do. I'll get 3 friends ring me, or I'll see something on the TV and it's like, hello, big neon sign in front of you. Yeah. So Sheila, how do you find when you are working now? Are you finding that it's a little bit easier now that you're consciously aware of what the energies are sometimes coming in, and once your mind can process it, that you go, now I know what that is? How do you feel about that?
Well, listen, I have the most incredible network of empaths. And what I do, and this happens soon as there's a fluctuation in the energy, I have certain ones who contact me about the exact moment that the vibration changes. Then I'll go in and I'll look at what all my empaths are saying. And I know when we are all experiencing the same exact feelings, whether it be emotional or physical, that we are all on this same wave of transition. And what it does when we know that we're all having the same symptoms, we're able to this, all right, then we know nothing is wrong. And that's that's how we end our conversations is, all right, we know we're okay. We know we're just transcending. And and I'm telling you, this having a network of healers and empaths, and I mean, I am so fortunate through this Heart Talks that I have met the best healers, the best of all. And and so I highly encourage networking. Have somebody that you can call or contact or email or whatever, someone who will bring you back to you. That is a true friend and sister or brother, one who will not try to solve your problems for you, but bring you back to your highest self.
Remind you.
Yes. Then you can own what it is you're feeling, and then you can process. It's hard to process or heal something that you are not owning.
Yes, but what you just said then is so beautiful, because we are here to support each other, and we're not going to disempower each other, as you said, by trying to do. You can't do another person's journey for them. Only they can do that journey. But we're definitely here as brothers and sisters. We're all doing the same thing. There's no free tickets on Boot Camp Earth, I'll tell you that now. And not recognizing when our brothers and sisters are having a bad hair day, that they're processing something and still loving them unconditionally when they go into those headspaces, as we all do. We all have those experiences, and we are our own greatest enemy. But I, like you, and we always talk to each other as well. So the angels usually bring in and facilitate an experience in preparation, and then I always see it unfold about 2 weeks later. So, and then everybody's talking to each other. I love it. I love it. I love the network. We're so blessed to have such a beautiful network, and deep respect and for each of our journeys. And we come from all different races and beings, and I love the star beings. There's so many, Earth is filled with such a wonderful mix. There's so much going on the Earth. There's so many amazing galactic beings here, Angelic Realm, they're Elven Realm, they're from every quadrant of the universe, and we're all here sharing and having this journey with each other. It's extraordinary. If you could see what we see, it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So, darling, I love you dearly.
Thank you so much. And for all of you who are watching, you're part of our network now. You're part of our family. And we love hearing from you, and we appreciate the comments that you have been sending us, and the shares. And I just couldn't be more blessed. I'm so happy. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. If you're happy, Sheila, I'll read the prayer one more time to close the show. Is that okay with you?
Yes, let's do that.
Are you happy for me to do that? Oh, thank you, darling. I love you for this.
All right.
Okay. So we ask God to bless us for the prayer for compassion. May the God or Goddess and the angels hold all of mankind in a heavenly embrace. May the Buddha of compassion please hold us all with the remembrance of how to use the gift of free will that was granted to us so that we may grow and evolve. Please help us and bless us all so that we may stand and act together in a loving, compassionate unity towards all of our brothers and sisters. May you set paths of peace for us to walk upon with our hearts lovingly open. May we all help to heal the hearts of others. And may the cries of the world turn to tears of joy as you bless every sacred step that we take on this journey of life. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.